Hello, fellow subscribers. Today is the 3rd of January 2021, and I have a super interesting update for you that concerns, of course, the Antichrist. In Revelation chapter 17, verses 10 and 11, we read, "And there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and 1 is, and the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. And the beast that was and is not, even he is the 80th, and is of the 7, and goeth into perdition. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast." And we know that the beast here is referring to the Antichrist. And in verse 11, it says that the beast that was and is not, even he is the 80th, and is of the 7, and goeth into perdition. Because in verse 10, we're going further up, it says that there are 7 kings. And these 7 kings are possibly 7 US presidents. 5 are fallen, which means 5 are deceased. And 1 is, and the other is not yet come. So, what if this prophecy, what if John saw that one who was standing up, that was the Antichrist, where it says 1 is and the other is not yet come, the president that followed him. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. So, what if that president that continued a short space continued 1 single term? And it says then again in verse 11, "And the beast that was, he had spent 2 terms, and is not, then after 2 terms, he vacated from the Oval Office. Even he is the 80th, because he comes back again, and he is of the 7. He is one of the 7 US presidents. And he goeth into perdition, because this beast is the son of perdition." So precisely, my update is about the genealogy of this person depicted here. If you may recall, in the video titled Antichrist Trailer, a sneak preview, I wasn't able to provide the whole genealogy of this person. But yesterday, I found the entire genealogy of this person, and it seems that he fulfills all the criteria for being a very good candidate for the Antichrist. And here we see the blasphemy on the cover of Newsweek, which says that he is God of all things. That's how they refer to him. And upon closer examination, he has 6 arms and 2 legs. And he is symbolizing Sheba, the goddess of destruction, the very same one that we find outside the building of CERN, the goddess of destruction. And here they are calling him God of all things. So this is so much in your face. You cannot interpret it in any other way. You see, what has he got in his hands? Money. He controls the financial aspect. and there's a helicopter there. He controls the armies. And he controls the globe. And what does he have there in his hands? Is that a computer mouse? It's difficult to see what it is, but it does look like it's some USB port of some sort. Controls technology. Oh, and he has a house on his uppermost hand there. That's very, very interesting. So, are they trying to tell us that he will be controlling everything? This is so blatant, in my opinion. So, taking you to that genealogy, which I promised to show you, and it's very, very interesting. So, this pastor here, Baptist pastor, Dr. Wills, he spent several years investigating the genealogy of BHO. And all the criteria seem to be in place for this person, for BHO, to fulfill the criteria for the Antichrist. Right now, he hasn't been revealed. He's still a candidate, but he is a very likely candidate. And here, Dr. Wills says that all points to BHO as the Antichrist. So, part 1. Does BHO have the proper biblical lineage? Many Christians and watchers have very strong opinions as to the proper lineage of the biblical Antichrist. Many have ruled out BHO for this reason. People have different reasons for believing one or more of the following about the lineage of the Antichrist. Some people say that the Antichrist must be an Assyrian. The Antichrist must be from the Israeli tribe of Dan. Or the Antichrist must be a Muslim and be traced to the Prophet Muhammad. Or 4. The Antichrist must be traced to Caesar's Roman Empire. Or 5. The Antichrist must be a Jew and traced to King David. It would seem very unlikely that any one man could possibly be traced genealogically to all 5 of the above. But guess what? Our candidate here has fulfilled all 5 criteria. Sorry for the spoiler alert. Dr. Wills must have invested hundreds, if not thousands of hours attempting to prove all 4 or 5 of these genealogies of VHO. Yes, the same retired Baptist minister who was shown by the Lord that BHO confirmed the covenant of Daniel 9:27 on October 29th, 2008, trusting the word into the final 7 years. As they were saying, it wasn't the 7 final years, then we're still here. Has painstakingly constructed genealogies for all. So let us. The Christian world owes Dr. Wills a tremendous amount of thanks and gratitude for investing so much time and effort in exposing BHO for what he is soon to become. I do not have Dr. Wills' email address. This is the author who would like to thank Dr. Wills. But it's surely one dedicated job, I must say. So this is Richard L. Wills' genealogy of VHO. And the genealogical list shows a descent from Antiochus I to BHO. Now you may recall in our previous video of Antichrist trailer, a sneak preview, that that Seleucus the first was the ancestor of Antiochus for Epiphanes, and he was the one who committed the abomination of desolation, the first fulfillment of that prophecy of the abomination of desolation, when Antiochus IV took a sow, a female pig, and he sacrificed it on the Jewish altar in the Jewish temple. And that still is considered an abomination in the Jews' eyes. And Antiochus IV Epiphanes was king of Syria. Then, as you probably recall, the second fulfillment of the abomination of desolation was fulfilled when the Romans desecrated the second temple at 70 AD, and this was prophesied by Jesus Christ, mentioned in Matthew chapter 24. And we are led to understand, even in the book of Daniel, that we are yet to have a third fulfillment of the abomination of desolation in the end times. And this will be fulfilled by the Antichrist, the direct descendant of Antiochus IV Epiphanes, king of Syria. So, the Antichrist must have Syrian blood. So let us continue scrolling down. These are the descendants. So in the uppermost line, you see that we have Antiochus IV there in capital letters. And there we also see a lot of Persian descendants. And then we come to Stanley Dunham, and that was where my search ended last time. And then from Stanley and Dunham, a recent ancestor, the union between Stanley and Dunham and BHO Senior of Kenya, who was the biological father of BHO Jr., who was born in 1961 with Michelle, or as some people prefer to call him, Michael. So we can see that has proved that BHO is a descendant of the Seleucid dynasty, Persian royalty, Syrian royalty, a first cousin about 69 times removed of Antiochus Epiphanes IV. So the connection is very strong, and there is no doubt about it, that he is a direct descendant of this particular terrible form of Antichrist that existed. And here we have some notes about the Kushan Empire that formed in the 1st century AD in the territories of ancient Bactria in what is now northern Afghanistan and southern Tajikistan and Uzbekistan. It spread into parts of China. And the ancient Persian dynasties. The connections are all there on this genealogical report of Dr. Richard L. Wills. Not a recognized genealogist, but he's done an extremely good work. Then he also goes on to prove that BHO is a direct descendant of Prophet Muhammad of Islam. And it says here that he have tribe of Dan connections. A root of descendants of Muslim Prophet Muhammad to BHO Jr. And here we have the list of ancestors that eventually end with BHO Jr. And this genealogical chart shows descent from the Caesars to BHO, Claudius I, and his younger niece Agrippina. I don't know why this stops here. I had the whole genealogy yesterday, but anyway, he managed to prove that BHO is directly descendant from Caesar, Claudius I, and his younger niece Agrippina also, and that he also has 25% of Jewish genetics in his blood. And he is descended from the tribe of the king of David as well. So you must say that his genealogy is impressive. It's full of royalty. I'm not surprised that the Antichrist would be descended from such. But over and above, I would have expected that BHO would be a direct descendant of Antiochus for Epiphanes, and he truly is. Therefore, he has Syrian blood. He is Muslim because he's a direct descendant of Muhammad. He is also a Muslim by religion. And therefore, it seems he has fulfilled all the criteria. So in conclusion, our candidate here, BHO, has Assyrian ancestors, and of note, that would be Antiochus IV Epiphanes, who was an Assyrian king. This Dr. Wills also managed to prove that this candidate is descended from the tribe of Dan, that this Antichrist is a practicing Muslim and is a descendant of Prophet Muhammad, as we have already seen, and this candidate can be traced back to Caesar's Roman Empire, and he must be a Jew and traced to King David. And as I was seeing yesterday, that 25% of his genetics are Jewish. So this is very, very interesting. I don't know whether you noticed that very often flies would like to settle on his face, and people also nicknamed him as Lord of the Flies, and the army nicknamed him as Renegade, and Renegade means the lawless one. And from the scriptures we know that the lawless one is the son of perdition, the Antichrist. I hope you find this interesting. Not to be alarmed. We should be encouraged. We know that we are in the season of the Antichrist. And the best news of all is that with the unveiling of the Antichrist, we know that the return of our Lord Jesus Christ is soon to be. Therefore, lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. If you are not yet saved, if you have not received Jesus Christ into your heart and into your life, what are you waiting for? Time is short. No one is promised tomorrow. You may not live that far. Call upon the name of the Lord, for whosoever calleth upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. Romans 10:13. God bless you all.